Policy arguments, it's for them to decide what the legislature actually did in 1963 and 1981 when these laws were enacted. And I think the questioning of both sides shows that they were extremely well prepared. They understand the arguments of both sides. And I think we're going to get a fair shake on the law. That's all we can ask for.
They seem to be harder on both sides than previous courts.
I would say equally hard on both sides, John, and I think that's that's an example of how this court treats these types of issues. They're well prepared. They ask tough questions of both sides, and they go back and make the decision they think is appropriate.
No, I mean, ultimately, the arguments are the same as the previous courts, and every single previous court has ruled against it. Well, what's different here?
It's a pure question of law, and so it doesn't matter what the lower courts have decided. Certainly the judges are going to read their decisions and take them into account, but what matters here is what the judges think the law means based upon the arguments that have been presented to them. I mean, I've had questions of law where I won at the lower court, I lost 5-0 at the appellate division, I won 7-0 in the Court of Appeals. Okay, that shows what can happen with a question of law. This is a pure question of law. Does this statute preempt a municipal ban or not?
The last comments or question by Lippman were fairly aggressive towards your side, and I think it was towards Middlefield, just about bulldozing over municipalities. What is your take on that? I mean, that was sort of their characterization.
Look. I think they're, they asked good, tough questions. Nobody's proposing to bulldoze over municipalities. All of our clients are very sensitive to municipalities and landowners. You have to have 60% control of a unit to even form a unit. So, in essence, you have a de facto referendum confirming that people want drilling at that location. The operators work very hard with the DEC to find the best place to put the well pad so it works geologically but doesn't interfere with sound land use principles, and it protects the environment. Everybody wants to do this right and safely. We just need municipalities to stay out of the energy business.
Tom, I just had a quick question. Something struck me in that this is all about the DEC preempting local towns. If the DEC's rules preempting local towns. Yet, isn't it true that the DEC has not filed an amicus on this, and they also they're not a party to the case?
But if you look at the 2009 and the 2011 draft supplemental generic environmental impact statements, in both of those documents, in Section 8, and I think it's around page 6, 4 or 6, something like that, they say that DEC supersedes local jurisdiction regarding well siting. Okay, and that means where the well goes. That's the point we made today in court, and I think the judges get it, that through spacing and everything else, the DEC has to determine the best location, and that's going to take into account local concerns.
But this is all about DEC's rights. Wouldn't DEC want to be a party to this case?
That happens all the time. Sometimes governments weigh in as amicus parties, sometimes they don't.
And I thought in the RDS case, in the latest S case, it even said that they were going to respect the rights of local towns.
Well, what it said is they're going to have you certify whether or not you're in compliance with local law, and if not, specify how, and then they're going to reach out to the municipality. They didn't say how they were going to handle the issue, okay? But they did repeat their position that their law controls over well siting.